Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we're going to talk about the Chaos Dwarfs. Yeah, they've just recently released, a lot of you are enjoying your campaigns, but some of you would like a little bit more. And the modding community has been hard at work creating some mods for the Chaos Dwarfs to just give them a little bit more flavor. They're a fun faction to play, but hey, a little bit more doesn't hurt, right? It's just like when you put a little bit more salt in your meal. So in today's video we're going to talk about 3 must-have mods for the Chaos Dwarfs just to give them a little bit more. So without further ado, let's begin. So this first mod is Drillover Hashut Mechanism for Immortal Empires. This is specifically for those who want to avoid the Realm of Chaos map and still want those interesting style mechanics for Immortal Empires. So yeah, it's basically a port of the mechanic straight into Immortal Empires, and that's going to be something which you're going to be able to explore. Everything is pretty much there, barring I think the final battle. You're just going to have to level up the building that you start with anyway. This is something that all Chaos Dwarf factions have with them naturally. So yeah, level that up and progress through it, just like the usual quest system. And I think that works out quite well because it definitely brings in that level of campaign narrative, which really should also be with Immortal Empires. You have that with the Tomb Kings, you have that with the Wood Elves, and pretty much all the other factions like the Bretonnians and so on. So it's kind of weird that this was just kind of left out. It is important to note that all the items available will essentially be doubled as it's already in the game through other quest battles, but you're more than free to ignore the doubles if you so wish. What this gets you is the ability to choose if you want the artifact for yourself or you want the faction-wide bonus. It's honestly pretty interesting, and it's a very good way to get extra Conclave influence if you want to kind of rush your way into confederating the other factions as fast as possible. Not only that, but yeah, it fits. It's a theme which really should be in-game anyway in Immortal Empires. And yeah, it's a quest system, so sometimes you'll have to take over a location, hold it, or sometimes you'll have to fight an army. Those armies will spawn on the map. I don't think the other factions will attack them, at least it hasn't through my testing. So yeah, you're just able to just kind of have fun and do what you need to do. Again, I really do wish that this was part of vanilla Immortal Empires, but hey, at least we have some mods to kind of add that in. This second mod is known as Corruption of Hashut, and as you can imagine, it does what it says. It brings in Hashut Corruption into the game, so you're not dealing with undivided corruption. It's something that I've been very vocal about in my review, that Hashut, being a minor Chaos God but still relatively powerful, should have had his own form of corruption. He's still a rather well-known deity. So it's important to know a few things. It doesn't change anything visual, which I imagine would be next to impossible until certain mod tools gets released, because obviously that's going into really deep game files. But yeah, you get now a new form of corruption, which allows you to get different bonuses which will fit your faction. Like for example, when you have 100 Hashut corruption in your area, you get the following bonuses. Enables attrition for non-chaos worshipping armies, control +5, casualty replenishment rate +5%, labor gained from post-battle +15%, obviously something very useful, and then finally all other types of corruption -5. And yeah, this is something that you're going to use fairly often because it's something attached to your campaign, and it's something that just kind of makes sense. You'll be naturally generating this corruption through various different sources. Buildings will also spread the Hashut corruption. Skills that used to focus around Undivided will now focus around Hashut corruption, so pretty much it's just been changed, the value has been changed. It adds another corruption form in, which in all honesty there should be a few coming into the game anyway. The bonuses are definitely noticeable, especially the increased labor cost, as it's just going to be better for you, and it's theming. Theming is very important, the immersion is very important when it comes to a game like Total War Warhammer. It'd be great if visually it would change a bit too, but then again, Undivided Corruption kind of fits with the theme, and the idea is it's just really the values. The values are the most important thing, the idea that you're spreading the corruption in the name of your god, your patron deity, because the Chaos Dwarfs don't worship the other gods. They don't form part of Chaos Undivided, they form under Hashut. So yeah, there is a bit of a bonus creep, and you can see that as you start going through different settlements and so on. But from the very beginning, you'll already start to notice a benefit, which is the great thing about this. And now this last mod is something very much anticipated. You're going to need a tier 4 tower for this, because you're going to have to go up into your roster buildings and then focus on the beast pens, because on the final building there you will get access to a Chaos Siege Giant, something that a lot of people have wanted in the Chaos Dwarf roster, as well it's a really cool model, right? and it's another Giant. It's not really like there's going to be a lot of work needed, which is kind of weird that Creative Assembly never got to do it. Obviously, they've said that they didn't feel like it fitted because of how the DLC was working, and they felt that the path was already done. But, you know, it's a KLC Giant, and a KLC Giant is very, very cool. Now, the great thing about this is it's fully integrated into the DLC, which means that you'll have to unlock it, you'll have to obviously get more capacity for them with the usual way by using armaments. As you unlock more and more of them, you'll also be able to unlock some bonuses for them from the Manufactory. It feels like it is a DLC unit. It feels like it's something that should have been in the DLC, which, yeah, in fairness, should have. But hey, you know, the great thing about Total War being so moddable is that we end up getting modders doing this and bringing in stuff that we all want to see. You never know for the future officially, but until then, hey, you know, we've got this system. It works really, really well. It definitely looks the part and reminds me of its old school miniature. Well, it's not really that old considering it was a Forge World thing from not too long ago. Well, 8 years is still pretty long at this point. God, I'm starting to feel old. And yes, I do agree with Creative Assembly where they said, you know, this didn't really bring in anything that the Chaos Dwarfs didn't already have. This is a slow-moving anti-large creature. You have a lot of that already. You've got some anti-large with your bull centaurs and so on. But I also agree with the community because at the end of the day, what we want is a little bit of everything, right? We want as much of the army list as possible, as much as everything that's been released as possible, because it's always better to have the option than not. It's the same thing as when you play a race which has a Spellcaster Lord or a basic Melee Lord. Now, out of 10 times you're going to go for the Spellcaster Lord, but it's nice to have the option for a cheaper Melee Lord which might do something a little bit different. Same thing with the Siege Giant. And again, it's cool. I mean, it's very, very cool. One day I'll paint up my own, but yeah, I'm a bit more delayed preparing for Old World than anything else. But yeah, this is a great mod. It adds in exactly what people wanted, and keep in mind that you will also need the translation mod, which will be linked in the description below. Don't you worry about that, as if you want it to work properly, right? You don't need the decapitation mod that says it's attached also. It's just this and the translation mod. Anything that's linked in the description. But yeah, all these 3 mods together, I think will just give you a little bit more flavor to your Chaos Dwarf faction, just in case you want to have a little bit more theming. Vanilla-wise, it's perfectly fine, and I'm stressing this here, vanilla-wise it's perfectly fine. I wouldn't have played 200 hours of it if it wasn't, but just, it's always good to have a little bit extra. This is the great thing, again, about Total War game. Modability adds for longevity for the game series, and it definitely works here too. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about these mods in the comments below. Let's have a little bit of a discussion. Is there anything that you're particularly waiting for? And yeah, have a nice day, guys. I'll see you all again very, very soon.